Hey everybody, happy Friday, happy day after the Eagles parade. Huge, big, great event. This is going to be a reaction video to the Flyers taking home the win just hours after the parade ended. They carried Philadelphia's momentum into their game. Claude Giroux carried his momentum and self-motivation of calling himself out and saying he has to do more to have a great game last night. The Flyers, Carey Price himself said, quote, "He played a pretty good game tonight. I think he was the difference maker," about Claude Giroux. So when a all-time great goalie who's not having the best season this year, which is in part why the Canadiens are not in the playoff hump and in the playoff race, even though Price will probably still make the All-Star team because he is their name guy, and you need somebody represented like you do in the MLB. But he's not having the same Carey Price year, but he still shows signs. To have a great player like that come out and say about another great player, he was the difference maker, that means you stepped up and you performed and you used the motivation, your own self-motivation, like you said you wanted to help you as well as your teammates' motivation. So that's big for Claude Giroux, because the Flyers, when they were struggling for those 3 games when we lost to Washington 5-3, but I don't really kick us that much for that because Washington's the best team in on our side of the bracket. And then when we lost to New Jersey 4-3, that was a very tough game. Then we came back and went into overtime. We came back against Ottawa to show some perseverance after 2 bad games. Then we unfortunately lost in the shootout, in a shootout that went so long. And then we've won 2 straight against Carolina, who was right behind us in the standings. We knew after losing, this is the thing with our division. If you lose 2 or 3 straight, you know you got to have something. You got to come together. You got to have momentum. You got to motivate yourselves. That's what I was looking for. And you got to come out and win the next game because this division is so close. You can't be losing 2, 3, 4 games in a row. Otherwise, you might drop all the way back as someone else soars up as you're losing. But the Flyers took care of business against Carolina. That was right behind them. And they took care of business against a decent Montreal team. A Montreal team that has been doing good of late. They have been good of late, as they said in the telecast. The power play has been on fire, and we did pretty well at defending the power play when we gave them chances, and that's a big step in the right direction for the Flyers as well, because the Flyers have not been a good penalty kill team this year, and they defended one of the hottest power plays in the league of the past 10 games. So they pretty well. So that's a good step in the right direction. We play Arizona tomorrow. We should be able to take that game in Arizona. Arizona's 13-32. That would be a really bad loss if some unforeseen thing happens that causes that game to become a loss, but I don't see that happening. What needs to happen is the Flyers just need to keep being motivated, being together. This is a team that now we can start to see they have that connection thing where everyone says, oh, well, like everyone kind of has each other's back in a sense, kind of like the Eagles did this season. Not saying the Flyers obviously could get the championship, but it's like a connection thing that we're starting to see, that everyone's starting to come together. The lines are starting to work out well. TK was a great move on the first line. He had a good game yesterday. Saw the puck, put it in the net. Those are one of those confidence things. When you're not confident knowing the season, Travis Kentny probably wouldn't have scored that goal simply because he wouldn't have said, oh, the whistle's not blown, maybe the puck's behind the thing. It's one of those things. It's all about your mental, where you're at. And when you're going good, you're going good. When you're going bad, you're going bad. And right now, the Flyers are starting to rebound. They need to keep it going in the right direction. I have some questions asking. Do you think the Flyers will do anything in terms of making a move or something? It is probably not. It is probably not out of the question for the Flyers to make a smaller move. I don't see us making a very big move before the end of the month trade deadline. but I could see us making a small move to maybe solidify the defense. That's what a couple of people have asked me, but the problem with that is then you're probably going to have to send Sanheim down, which is something a lot of us don't want to do, because you're gonna have to make a spot for whoever you trade for to help solidify the back end. But that's something they might need to do, but at the same time we want to have our young guys continue to grow, and a lot of guys are already pissed off that Brandon Manning plays so much over Travis Sanheim, who is the guy that's going to be part of our future, and Brandon Manning, of course, is just going to be a backup or a 6th or 7th defenseman pretty much his entire career. Nothing against him. He's solid at being your final line defenseman or your first guy off the bench, but that's not what Travis Sanheim's potential is probably going to amount to be, so he should be in the game more, is what a lot of people say. So adding a defender could cause complications to that, but that's what I could see them doing if they decide to add somebody. They could also add, possibly the Flyers might want to add, if there's an aging scorer that's having a really good season. If we don't have to give up that much for them, the Flyers could definitely still use one more guy that's just like really puts the puck in the net, and his main thing is scoring. So maybe we'll go for that too, but other than that, I don't see huge moves. I don't see us getting a big name guy. But this is also, to close it out, what Giroux got commented on by Canadians. He's definitely got great vision. He's pretty shifty out there. He always seems to be in a good position to make play to multiple players. So Claude Giroux came out, played insanely well. This is what the coach had to say about him to close it out. Flyers head coach Hackstall said, "It's not always about points, but G played well tonight and he made plays tonight. I think that's what he was probably most hard on himself in regards to after the game in Carolina," Hackstall said. "No question tonight he went out and made plays and was a difference maker for our team. That's what you want to see. He's pretty hard on himself, maybe overly so, but he felt he could play better and he went out and did that tonight." So he used, again, self-motivation and motivation from his coaching staff and his teammates as well to help him to come out and get going again, because he saw the team was doing decent and doing some stuff around him, but he wasn't helping to gel it. And Claude Giroux, for many years, was a huge part, if not the part, of the motor that fuels our system. And it's like Al Morganti said on the post-game yesterday, he's starting to come back, and this season he's starting to be a big part of that fuel again, and he went a little bit away for a few games, then he came back. So this is a season that seems like stuff is starting to go in the right direction for the Flyers. I think, in prediction-wise, they could get in those top 3 positions. They said they want to be in the top 3 guaranteed positions. They don't want to be in the 2 wild card. I think if they keep winning, there's some of these teams that are struggling and starting to lose. They'll keep climbing up, and they will get in those final 3 spots. This has been a reaction to the Montreal Canadiens and Philadelphia Flyers game. Way to win, Flyers. Way to go, Flyers. Way to carry the Philadelphia momentum after the big parade. Huge win. Huge W. Let's carry it into Arizona, the desert, tomorrow, and throw those Coyotes right out of the desert. Peace out, everybody. Have a good Friday night. Have a great weekend. Peace.